Okay, so I'm on your view.
Yep.
We are recording.
All
I'm
right.
just
So
give it a second because you get that gray screen at the start of the videos for some reason. Really
yep.
annoying.
I don't think it affects the sound though. So this
Doesn't.
is part 4 of our VODs.
Part
Game number
4,
2.
Game 2.
Yep.
Stoiker Rep
Against.
versus who was then ZeNEXYong, but I guess is now joined Vile.
Yeah, his account just has Xenix in it, but he's on Vile.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're starting at 2 minutes and
Yep.
ZeNEXYong Caverns, which no one fucking plays anymore with Zerg. But
Mhm.
anyways, 3, 2, 1, play.
All right. So Zelnaga. I think this is the absolute worst map to play this. Well, any matchup as Zerg. Even ZvC. It's terrible. It's just too small. Against Protoss, these chokes at the when they attack you at your second base are absolutely amazing for force fields, for pretty much everything. Positioning, uh, it's very close for them to just walk over sentries and force field your ramp. So if you're on two hatches, half your army gets cut off. It's just a bad map position wise overall. Extremely good for force fields, especially when they go into Colossus Immortal. Everything is kind of bunched up, so they can always get shots off. Colossus can kill Zerglings and Hydralisks really fast, and Immortals will always be able to kill roaches that are in range. So on this map, I know that ZeNEXYong will not open cannon, especially not on ladder like this, because he probably gets cheesed a lot. So uh, I open gas first, assuming that he's going to 3-gate expo.
Why do
And I
you
know I
leave one
talked
on
about
gas here?
this is just a build order choice. But anyways, the reason why I do this, I think in one of the VODs I talk about this before, and I say that I don't really care. I always open no gas, and I just assume that they're going to cannon expand. But when I play a player like this, I don't want to take that chance because if I open no gas, a good player like this will take advantage of it, and it would be a dumb way to lose if I just miss microed at the beginning and he built like 3 stalkers and I had no speed. Okay, so the first thing that he's doing here, which is a little gay, is he's kind of metaing this overlord. He rushes to a stalker first so he can get it out and kill it. That's really annoying.
What a dirk.
I know. So,
Just made up that word.
unfortunately for me, that does supply block me, which is absolutely terrible at this point, because now I have to build an additional overlord just to get up to 26, and then I'm supply blocked again. But anyways. Alright, so at this point, I just expand at 21, and I pretty much just try to play as reactionary as I possibly can. So now that I have speed, I'll be able to scout the front of his base non-stop without losing any units. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. First thing I want to do is make sure there's an expansion. One key thing that he did is he put that pylon down extremely early, so I can assume that it's there because he's planning on expanding. Um, so I feel pretty safe right now, so I'm going to build nothing but drones just for a bit. Anyways, the reason I keep that one on gas is because when I don't open gas, when I open with gas against Protoss, I do it because I want to tech. So keeping that one gives me a little bit of leeway. If I wanted to go into layer a little bit earlier, that added bonus there would allow me to use my gas into my quick layer. So this is what I'm doing right now. Anyways, the reason why I layer tech so quickly here is because now that I saw the second pylon there, I'm about 99.9% sure that he's going to expand. So because I know that he's going to expand, I know that he's not going to attack me right now. So I'm going to go ahead and attack as fast as I can. And I scout this. I see a forge going down, but what signals me to build this spine crawler is I see a lot of sentries. So he probably is building that army in order to kind of move out and pressure me in the near future when Warp Gate is finished, or he has more than 3 gates, maybe just 3 gates. 3 gate pressure is very effective on this map too. Okay, so the first thing to note here is on a map like this, say the choke was smaller. Say there was just one big ramp that was leading into my second base. If that were the case, then I would probably defend against sentry timing pushes like this with a lot of spine crawlers. You build like 4 spine crawlers, there's pretty much nothing he can do. But the thing is, on this map, because it's Zelnaga Caverns, the area in which he can walk and fight me at my second base is so wide. Like there, he can even go all the way to the right side and kind of choke himself there. So if I build spine crawlers, he will always be able to go into a position in which some of the spine crawlers will be ineffective. You kind of see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if I build my spine crawlers to the left, he can go to the right. If I build them to the right, he can go to the left. So I only build one here, and my thought process is I have to counter this somehow. So in this case, because I've teched so early, I've chosen Burrow to counter this. Because I know that a push this early is impossible from Savage Observer. So I know this push looks really scary, and I know that I should have had maybe 4 spine crawlers here if I wanted to drone behind this or whatever. But as you're going to see, my plan here of getting Burrow is going to save me just in time, so I will minimally counter this, which is pretty much all you want to do. So I'm just pretty much waiting for it, and it's about to pop. And he's gonna see this, and he's gonna back up. Like he built this pylon here, he's not even gonna try to pressure me once he sees that I have Burrow. So I actually wait for him to warp in first because I want him to spend the resources. And then now that he spent that resources, I'm gonna show him Burrow. So now he backs off. So really good for me, minimally countered it. And the reason I say minimally countered it is because whenever something happens, like for example, let's say there was one choke and I wanted to defend this with spine crawlers, then I would have built, you know, half the amount of units that I built here. You always want to counter something minimally so that you can get back to joining as fast as you can, or get back to spending your resources building tech units. So in this case, this is just an example of me countering this using Burrow instead of maybe spines or building a lot of lings, because in positions like this on this map, force field is so powerful, and the ability for me to build spine crawlers in the location where all the spine crawlers can fight him is just too difficult. Like you can even see the spine crawler that I had there, even that one I had to move because, you know, he went into that location where the spine crawler wasn't going to be. And if I didn't have Burrow and if I didn't have more units at that point, he would have just been able to fight me in that weird choke, and I would actually never be able to engage him because he would just force field it off. So now that I feel a little bit safe, I took my third. It's a little bit late, but that's because this map requires me to take down those rocks. So it could have been maybe 30 seconds faster if it was a map like Metalopolis. At this point, I was scouting with my overseer. I didn't really see a robotics bay, so I'm not expecting Colossus. So at this point, I'm safe to go into Roach Hydra Ball. Hydras are extremely good against gateway units, and if he decides to get a Robo, not going into Colossus means he'll be building Immortals. So Immortals are pretty hard countered by Hydralisks as well. So at this point in the game, I scout him again. I see that he's producing something here that I just gooped, but more importantly, I see that he has a ton of gateways, so I know this is definitely going to be a time push. Especially because I scouted the third of his base and I noticed that the rocks are still there, and there's no expansion obviously. So if he wanted to expand, it would have to be to the gold, or just the more obvious one is he's not expanding, he's going to try to 3-base time and push me. So I'm basically just thinking to myself that I have to survive this push. It's very difficult on this map, as you're going to see, force fields are really strong. So now that I have 54 drones, even though my third went up, obviously I was not building any drones at this point because I know this attack is coming, and here it comes. So at this point it's just building as many units as I can and trying to find a good spot in which I can engage him. Okay, so here his army comes through. So I don't want to get trapped by this force field, so that's good by me to back off. That would have been terrible if I got stuck there. But eventually I'm going to have to fight him. I'm just going to try to stall as long as I can. But you don't want to stall too long, because even though he runs out of force fields, his army gets bigger and bigger. So as you can see, that's an extremely dangerous force. This push is very strong on this map. And finally he kind of cuts my army off, so I'm going to try to spread as much as I can. Try to use my overlords for vision up top here. And that's really good for me. I was able to kill that weapon. So at this point, I'm just trying to survive. It probably would have been, but I don't know where the probe is, so there probably could have been a pylon before that. And as you can see, this is like such a crucial moment. Every moment I spend not hitting him and him killing my army could be devastating. So at this point, he's moving in, and I basically just have to pull everything here and stop this attack, and that's exactly what I do here. Like, this is a clear all-in, so me pulling drones just to get rid of the army is beneficial to me. Okay, so I am able to clean up this push, but I am kind of hurt a bit, even though he lost most of his army. He killed about 19 workers, so now the worker count is 46 for him and 35 to me. So this game kind of gets into a really weird phase. I don't really want to build too many drones at this point, even though I know I lost them. But it really will depend on what he wants to do. I mean, if he decides to expand behind this, you know, I could decide to maybe just try to go and kill him. But if he tries to expand behind this also, I could use that opportunity to drone. So at this point, I'm just going to try to scout and see as much information as I can get. So I can see he's still producing stuff from the Robo using my Overlord. I still see he has a ton of those gateways. He hasn't added additional ones. That would just be silly off of 2 bases. And the thing here is I don't see his robotics bay yet. So this is really bad for me, because if I knew he was producing Colossus, as we know from the production tab, I would have had my Spire running, but I don't know at this point. So all I see is him warping more units, and I see him trying to take the gold. So obviously I'm going to try to stop him from doing that. Yeah, his army's way too small at this point. And I'm just going to try to see what I can see. Yeah, I don't actually want to fight him there, but he's not going to be able to take this gold because it's in such an open area. It makes force fields really bad. So at this point, I still don't know he's going Colossus. So that's why I'm playing extremely reactionary. I still haven't put my Spire down. So at this point, I'm just trying to rotate between drones and units, and I know that I don't really have to break 50. So as you can see, this is going to probably be my last rotation, and finally I see the Colossus. So now I know he's switching over to Colossus deck, so I can put down my Spire. And the good thing about this is, at this point in the game, I'm able to not fully saturate 3 base, but because I'm almost mined out in my main anyways, I am technically a base ahead of him, econ-wise. So I know that even his switch to Colossus here is countering my high Hydra count. My unit count, in sheer numbers, is going to overcome his, because my econ is better, and I killed more of his army than he killed of mine in that engagement, because, you know, he killed 19 drones. And they kind of worked as meat shields, so I was able to retain a lot of my roaches and a lot of my hydras. So at this point, I can either wait for corruptors, or because I actually look at his army here and I say, okay, that's actually not enough sentries for me to get a good concave, I can actually just go and fight him at this point. So that's exactly what I do. You can see, losing an entire Protoss army when you're doing an all-in attack like that, I mean, even if you kill 19 drones, you're just not going to have enough sentry retention at the end. And switching over to Colossus here is definitely not going to work. So I just beat him here because I have way more numbers than he does.
Micro wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
Alright, good game.